Hello, my name is Hannah, and today I decided to build another apartment build in Evergreen Harbor. And I think this is the last one for maybe a bit. I may take a break on the Evergreen Harbor apartments, just because I've done like a bunch of them recently, and I've also done all of them. I think, as far as I know, in the world. So I may take a break and do like some more San Myshuno ones, but I've also done a bunch of those. But I've repeated those a bunch too, so I don't know if it matters that much because I try and be a bit different. But as I said in like a previous one, the windows when you have it like a modern upgrade are bright orange. So I definitely could try with ones that are not upgraded. That would probably make it a bunch easier. But for right now, I think I may like tone it down and maybe just do some more like actual like full on houses and not like apartments. But I could take that back and post another apartment tomorrow. You never know with me. But that's fine. It's content, and I'm just it's different, but it's not that different. But that's fine. Today I was going to talk about like books. But more specifically, just like a singular book event that happened in elementary school. Now, in elementary school, we read like a bunch of books, which I was not opposed to in the slightest. I like reading. I loved reading in elementary school and like middle school, and I just don't have a lot of free time now, but I do still like reading a lot. So in elementary school, I think it was the fifth grade. Yeah, it was the fifth grade because I remember what classroom we were in. So we were in the classroom. We were reading a book called Yellow Fever 1793. Now this book is about the yellow fever. Now it's like obviously it's a I think it was an epidemic, so makes a lot of sense for right now. But like it was fifth grade, so this was like 2016. I don't. It was around then. So we were reading this book in class, and so we sat in groups of like four, like in tables. So they would put the tables like back to back and sit like four people on the chair. So I was sitting closest to a wall, and then there was this kid next to me. Now this book is full on like epidemic, but it's like elementary school level like sickness, like disease related book. So obviously it wasn't going to be horrible. Now I really liked that book. I remember I read it like several times throughout elementary school. Like I probably read it 4 or 5 times. I'm not exactly sure what my obsession was with the book. I just happened to read it quite a bit. So that's fine. But this one kid was sitting right next to me when we were reading this book. Now, this kid was just random kid in my class that doesn't really matter that much. And so I think he was having some like difficulties reading the book, not like reading wise, but like he just thought it was like probably too graphic or whatever you would call a book made for a bunch of 10-year-olds. But like apparently it was too much for him, and he like actually threw up in my like elementary school classroom. Now I was sitting right next to him, so probably like 4 to 5 inches away, because the tables aren't that big. And so he didn't throw up on me per se, but he kind of like turned my way and then around, because there was a full-on open section, but he turned my way to turn around to get out of the chair to like go to like a trash can or whatever his plan was in his mind. So he went to go turn around, but he turned my way. So obviously I like threw myself back at the wall, which was fine. But like honestly, I'm surprised I didn't hurt myself because I am clumsy, as I have talked about before. But I threw myself against the wall, and he like turned around and puked right behind his chair. So like he was a couple inches away from puking onto me. And like, oh my god, it was horrible. The entire thing didn't ruin the book for me apparently though. But apparently, the book was just a bit too much for him. But I guess I read a bunch of weird books as a kid, and now I'm like really into like crime scenes and forensics and stuff. So obviously that stuff doesn't bother me that much. But like I don't remember that book being like, I don't know what it would have been describing. Like I guess like symptoms. Like the book is like a fictional like teenage girl's experience with like the like yellow fever going on. So I could not tell you what he was reading at the time, because I think in fifth grade, I don't think we really read by chapters very much, or at least I didn't. I just kind of read the entire book in as little sections as I could. So I couldn't tell you what part of the book he was at, nor do I remember everything that happened in that book, because it's, been a while, and, I don't really care that much about, remembering the plot line of a book I read in elementary school. I was also obsessed with Island of the Blue Dolphins in elementary school, which is also another book. Just random books that I would get obsessed with for weeks. There's also this, what are those books? I can probably figure them out, but there's these 2 or 3 books that were just huge books, but they had, like, pictures in them, but they also had pretty large checks, but they were, like, probably 400, 500-page books. But, like, I would bring them into class and, like, read them repetitively, and people were like, you're reading that book? And yes, I read a lot as a kid, but they were still just, like, elementary school. I cannot read, like, a book that's probably, like, 3 inches tall. No, 2.5 maybe. No, it wasn't that tall. But, like, for an elementary school student, apparently that was too big, and I kept getting, like, made fun of for that. So, just keep reading, kids. And, if it makes them upset that you are reading a bigger book than they can, laugh in their face. So, that's advice for the day. But I think that's, like, the end of the story. But I actually had a proposal. Not really that important of a proposal. But I was wondering how okay it would be, like, to take Fridays, not, like, off, but, like, I make 7 videos a week, so I was wondering if, like, I could make, like, a room build, like, a minute or 2 long video room build on, like, every Friday, so it wouldn't be, like, as long, because, like, these 8 to 9 minute videos take probably, like, an hour and a half, probably, and for, like, well, if the build takes, like, an hour, probably, like, an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes, but, like, I feel like that would take less time, and sometimes I get really pressed to do, like, videos on Fridays, so sometimes I'm, like, doing them on Friday morning, so I'm thinking I can maybe post, like, maybe at least this week, but just, like, post, like, a minute-long, like, room build, because I've seen those, and they always turn out, like, really cute and stuff, so I may end up doing that on, like, every, like, Friday. I may change the date, though, but I'm thinking Fridays, because that's always, like, a day that I, need some more time to do with, like, my builds and, like, just the videos in general. So we may do that. And so it's not a full video, so I'm sorry if you were expecting a full video, but it's still just, like, a 1 to 2 minute video of a cute room build. And so then you get some content, but I'm not as pressed for time for that content. And I can spend, like, a little bit on it, because I feel like I would still spend a pretty large amount of time if I specified, like, a singular day for just, like, a singular room build. I would want to make sure it was cute, but I also wouldn't be spending, like, an hour on it, which, is sometimes what I do for some of the builds. Like, this probably took me about 40 minutes, because, like, it's a smaller apartment, so I didn't have to do the outside. But, like, full-on houses, I can take, like, hour and a half, like, 2 hours to just build it. And so, yeah, may do that. But, like, that's okay. So we're getting to the end of the video, so it's almost screenshots time. So I post a new video every day of the week, so you can watch another video tomorrow. Bye.